The episode sees many twists and surprises, Euron's death, as well as a huge revelation behind the Night King's motivation and his reasons of marching south. Most of the events are seemingly confirmed by leaked photos, just like most of the events in the previous episodes. If you're new here and are wondering why this particular outline might be the actual outline of the final season of Game of Thrones, let me explain it to you real quick. All the previous episodes, including the following ones, have major events that have been confirmed by many leaked photos, but the kicker is that this same outline was sent to me in the August last year, while filming for the final season began in October last year. Long story short, this outline was sent to me before the filming for the final season began, and yet all the leaked photos from the filming set that followed seem to be perfectly matching with this outline. If you haven't seen the previous 3 outlines for the first 3 episodes of season 8, I highly suggest you to do so and then come back to watch this video. Anyways, it says that the episode starts with an aftermath of a battle for Winterfell. Winterfell is in ruins. We see many dead bodies inside and outside Winterfell. I gotta stop right there to point out that this opening scene of episode 4 might have been confirmed by a bunch of leaked photos from Winterfell set. The previous episode saw a huge battle fought in Winterfell between the living and the dead, and later a battle among the living. It only makes sense for us to see the aftermath of those massive battles, and we will. We will see a few shots of the corpses strew across the snow-covered fields just outside Winterfell. Back to the outline, it states that the next scene is in King's Landing. Jon is being escorted through the city walls to Cersei. Jon and Cersei have a meeting on the city walls. Jon is not in chains. Jon and Cersei are accompanied by Cersei's Queensguard, including the Mountain and Qyburn. This part has been confirmed by many leaked photos as well. Jon is being escorted through the city walls to Cersei, it says, and this leaked photo supports it. Jon and Cersei have a meeting on the city walls. Jon is not in chains. Jon and Cersei are accompanied by Cersei's Queensguard, including the Mountain and Qyburn, it says, and these leaked photos seem to be confirming it. Anyways, the outline continues with, when your father came here and found out my little secret, he gave me a choice. Suffer the consequences or flee and save your children. Honorable man, honorable fool, says Cersei to Jon. I surrendered to avoid losing more men in pointless battles. You still have a child to live for. You don't need to do this, replies Jon. What child would that be? 3 that were taken from me or the one that I lost in miscarriage? I will fight and take what is mine by right, says Cersei. Your firstborn son, the black-haired boy. His name is Gendry, replies Jon. Cersei is stunned. She didn't know anyone knew about this besides her and Jaime. Cersei orders Jon to be taken into the dungeons until she figures out the most painful death upon him. Cersei grows more and more mad and paranoid. Before he could be taken, Jon says to Cersei, you can't kill me. Cersei pauses, orders her men to stop for a moment. And why not? She asks Jon. Because the Daenerys will burn you and you'll keep down, answers Jon. Why do you think I captured you? Responds Cersei while looking at Qyburn's new and many scorpions. Jon realizes what's going on and in shock says it's a trap for Daenerys and her dragons. Cersei smiles. I've already talked quite a lot about Gendry being Cersei's son in the episode 3 outline video where it's been revealed to him by Jaime. Additionally, I made a full video providing all the hints and clues proving that Gendry could be the firstborn black-haired beauty son of King Robert and Queen Cersei, so I will not talk about it anymore. However, Qyburn's new scorpions made to kill Dany's remaining dragon's part has been confirmed by the leaked video. Here's one of Qyburn's new scorpions on season 8 filming set, much bigger than the previous one that wounded Drogon and has 2 additional arms, presumably to increase tension. There will be 3 new scorpions affixed on King's Landing walls. The outline then states that the next shot is somewhere in the north. Sansa, Arya Ghost, Davos Tyrion, Missandei, Grey Worm, Brienne Ellis Karstark, Lyanna Mormont, Lord Mannerly, Lord Glower, Jorah Cenor Clegane, Gilly Sam, Lil Sam, Robin Arryn, Bran Stark, Emir Tully, Bronn and Jaime are heading south with the Unsullied, the Tully Frey Lannister army and the small remaining number of the Northerners and even smaller number of the Dothraki. Didn't think you'd be alive, Jaime says to Arya. Arya pauses. Thank you for saving my brother and my sister, but I can't forgive you for what you and your family have done to mine. You're as much guilty for my father's death as Joffrey, she replies. Brienne doesn't like this. Bran interrupts and says not at all, just the opposite. He saved our father once from certain death, from the Mad King and wildfire. Instead of a Kingslayer, people should call him their hero. He also sent Brienne to find and take care of you and Sansa. He fulfilled his promise to her mother, Bran continues. Jaime is shocked to hear this from a boy he once attempted to murder. Brienne is happy for Jaime. Arya doesn't reply to this. Varys is not here. He's departed from the group shortly after Euron and the Golden Company captured Jon Snow. Okay, after they lost most armies fighting the Night King's army and after they lost Jon to Euron and the Golden Company, the living are now marching south. Their armies are now mostly consisted of the Unsullied and the Tully Frey Lannister army with a small amount of the surviving Northerners and even smaller amount of the Dothraki, the ones who fled I assume. We are having a small talk between Arya and Jaime. I'm happy to see Bran defending Jaime in this conversation. The part in which Bran says that Jaime saved their father's life once most likely refers on Jaime killing the Mad King. Had Jaime not killed the Mad King, the entire capital would have been burned down with all its population, including Ned Stark, who was somewhere inside it at the moment. Anyways, the outline continues with the next shot is somewhere south in Dorne. Daenerys on Drogon, accompanied with Rhaegal, attacks the Night King and his undead dragon. Undead Viserion wounds Rhaegal badly. Rhaegal flees. Drogon wounds Viserion pretty badly, biting a big piece of Viserion's body, but it seems as if it does no damage to Viserion. Daenerys then starts burning the Night King's new army with Drogon, but is forced to flee as the Night King attempts to kill Drogon with a nice spear. The Dance of the Dragons finally, a dragon battles a dragon. Dany left Winterfell with her 2 dragons in order to stop the Night King from resurrecting the dead across the Westeros, and from killing everyone in the south. However, Dany has seemingly came a bit too late. The Night King already formed a new, bigger army in the south. Drogon and Rhaegal battle Viserion, and Rhaegal is the first one to be almost killed, whereupon he flees. It says that Drogon wounds Viserion pretty badly, but it does not affect him. This is because Viserion is not a living dragon, he's a reanimated corpse raised by the Night King. The dead are indestructible and can withstand an injury that would normally be fatal. Dany then tries to at least burn down some of the new Night King's army of the dead, but is forced to flee once the Night King starts throwing an ice spear on Drogon. Let's hope Rhaegal survives this battle. Back to the outline, it says that we learn that Melisandre has been in the north this entire season in a form of an old woman. Gendry and Jaime have a conversation. Gendry asks Jaime if he's sure in his claims of him being Cersei's firstborn son with King Robert. Jaime assures Gendry in this. Jaime reveals to Gendry how he personally paid to Obama the apprentice fee as well as to keep his mouth shut. Let me stop right there to say that Melisandre being in the north in the form of an old woman has been quite expected. With her being banished from the north and warned to be killed if ever comes back, it only makes sense for her to take over her necklace along with her illusion of beauty and once again reveal her true form and that way avoid being recognized. Jaime reveals to Gendry that he personally made sure that he was left in good hands by paying the best blacksmith in all of Westeros to take care of him and learn him forge high-end weapons and armor. It's actually known that the unknown lord paid Gendry's apprentice fee so he could learn to be a blacksmith, and as it turns out, it was none the less than Jaime himself, Gendry's uncle. Back to the outline, Daenerys rides Drogon north to Winterfell. She sees hers and Jon's forces marching south in the Riverlands. She lands. Tyrion and Sansa tell her what happened in Winterfell. They tell her that Cersei has Jon Snow now. Jaime explains how Cersei betrayed them and how Euron brought the Golden Company to Westeros. Daenerys tells them that she failed to stop the Night King from forming a new army in the south. She came too late. Davos notices that there is only one dragon. Rhaegal is not there. Daenerys says that she doesn't know where Rhaegal is or if he's even alive. Sometime later, Tyrion tells Daenerys about Jon's true lineage. Daenerys reveals Tyrion her pregnancy with Jon's baby. Seems like Dany is the last one to learn the truth about Jon's true lineage. It's been revealed to Jon back in episode 2, almost everyone learns it in the previous episode when Bran revealed it on a huge meeting after Jon's been taken captive, and now Dany finally learns it as well. Dany's pregnancy with Jon's baby, on the other hand, is still a secret with Tyrion being the only one beside Maester Vulcan and Miss Sandy to know. Dany's pregnancy might not have been confirmed by leaked photos, but it certainly has been heavily hinted and foreshadowed throughout the previous season. The outline continues with Theon and Yara join Daenerys to the Ironborn. Daenerys is happy to see Yara alive. It's revealed that Euron tortured Yara and cut out her tongue. The next scene takes place in the Red Keep. Euron wants Cersei to fulfill her promise. He wants a wedding. Euron says that he fulfilled his part of destroying her enemies. It's time for her to fulfill her part. Cersei refuses, thanks Euron for all the support he provided and breaks their allegiance. Cersei reveals to Euron that the Golden Company has broken a contract, no longer fighting for her nor him. Cersei states that as of now, her only ally is Wildfire. Cersei has Euron killed by the Mountain. Whoa, what a twist. The Golden Company apparently has broken a contract, and to be honest, I've expected it. With them never breaking a contract being mentioned so many times, and with Cersei's statement that no one walks away from her, this turn of events has been both hinted and foreshadowed. It's been mentioned in the season premiere that Cersei has gone fully mad after she's lost her only remaining child and hope for the future of her house in a miscarriage, and we get to see it in its full might this episode. Cersei kills her only remaining ally and proclaims Wildfire her only ally in the wars to come. The scene switches to Daenerys' camp. She thanks Varys for his service. How did you convince the Golden Company to take up the cause of our queen when they have spent so much of their history fighting against the Targaryens? Tyrion asks Varys. Varys answers with, not only for our queen, but for our king too, for Aegon Targaryen. Black or red, a dragon is still a dragon. At first it looked like the Golden Company might have fled Westeros upon breaking a contract with Cersei, but no. Varys, who's been missing after Jon's resurrection, has seemingly made a deal with the Golden Company. He says the Golden Company will fight not only for Daenerys but for Aegon Targaryen as well. It means that Varys revealed them that Jon Snow is actually a Targaryen whose real name is Aegon. Let me point out that in the books, the Golden Company also breaks a contract for the very first time to support a character by the name Young Griff, whom they claim is Prince Aegon Targaryen. See this little connection between the books and the show. Back to the outline, it says that Cersei visits Jon with Qyburn and the Mountain in the dungeons. "You were right," she says to Jon. "We should stand against the Night King together." And we will, Cersei continues. Jon and Qyburn are surprised by this turn of events. "I have the Scorpions. I have Wildfire. You and Daenerys have armies and the dragons," Cersei says. "I'm happy to hear that. Will you set me free?" asks Jon. "No, you will send a raven to your queen," answers Cersei and continues with, "What do you take me for? A fool?" asks Cersei and continues with, "You're the only reason the Mad King's daughter won't attack me with her dragons. I will allow all of them to come and stand the final ground inside the capital, but I will keep you here with me. You're my only assurance they won't sack the city once the gates open and try to overthrow me." Jon nods and asks, "Where are they?" "For what I've heard, Daenerys and their armies are somewhere in the Riverlands. That's where the Golden Company is heading to." Jon pauses. "Not to attack, but to pledge loyalty to the Dragon Queen. King's Landing has over 1 million people in it. It cannot fall, it must not fall. Write your people to come here and help me defend it. The gates will be open," Cersei says. Jon nods. The Night King's motivation is revealed. The scene ties together every White Walker symbol we've seen throughout the series. They're not mindless zombies marching south to kill everyone. Let me stop right there to say that even though this rough outline doesn't provide much details about this huge revelation regarding the Night King and his motivations, it still makes me happy to know that they'll finally find out what does he want. It says that the revelation scene ties together every White Walker symbol we've seen throughout the series, scene which will probably leave us speechless. But nonetheless, this major event might have also been kind of confirmed by Season 8 filming leaks. The production returned to Tollymore Forest and filmed a few scenes for the final season. For anyone that doesn't know, Tollymore Forest was famously used for the area where the Night's Watch Rangers encountered White Walkers and their symbol in the very first sequence of the show. Will these new film scenes be used to finally explain the ominous symbol as the outline states, and finally shed light on the Night King's history, motivation and goal? One can only hope. If this outline comes true, I'd say that these huge revelations will be seen through Bran Stark's visions. Back to the outline. The episode ends with the scenes of the entire living side led by Daenerys and Jaime approaching King's Landing, while Cersei's voiceover explains the plans to Qyburn. "Will we open the city gates when they arrive?" asks Qyburn. "Yes, we will," Cersei replies. "We will let them all inside. We will let them prepare the city defenses. We will work with them. When the time comes, when all our enemies are fighting in the streets of the capital, we will burn them all with wildfire." We see the Night King marching towards King's Landing with his army too. Even this major part of the outline has been confirmed by the leaked photos and videos from King's Landing set. Here you can see the Unsullied and what's left of the Dothraki marching towards King's Landing gates, just like the outline states. Cersei basically intends to use wildfire and burn the entire King's Landing to the ground once the living and the dead start fighting inside her city, and that way get rid of all her enemies. There you have it, guys, seemingly legit outline for episode 4 of the final season. Many of you were extremely happy with the previous episode that was intense and action-packed, and even though this episode did see many twists and surprises, the following episode 5 takes it to a whole another level with a huge battle for King's Landing.